A few nights ago, I had the opportunity of a lifetime. All the time I've lived here in New York, I have never done a sailboat cruise around the city, and I attended an event for the Society for Human Resources Management's New York City chapter, SHRM NYC, and got to hang out with these people on a boat. And it was great because once you get on the boat, you're stuck, right? Well, there's a limited amount of things that you can do. You can eat, drink, talk to people, or do nothing. But it brought up something that is really important for myself, for you, for human resource leaders, for wellness advocates. Presence. Being present. I'm Mike Veny, a certified corporate wellness specialist, mental health speaker, and my company is accredited by the Society for Human Resources Management, also known as SHRM, and we provide continuing education courses to HR leaders who need recertification. I'm a member of the SHRM NYC chapter, and I go to events, but I've never been to the boat event, and it was really, really cool. I was almost late and missed the boat because I couldn't find where it was on the South Street Seaport. It was Manhattan by Sail. That was the name of the company that did it. And I'm looking at this boat as I'm about to get on, and it's just rocking, and I'm like, okay. It was nice to see by the end of the boat ride how everyone was just good energy on the boat. I mean, I think we wanted to get off and, go back home and all that, but it was just this nice energy, and that's something that is missing in this world sometimes, is just good energy activities. The boat forced us to be present with each other, to talk to each other, to just experience nature, and to slow down, which was really cool. Presence means being fully engaged, grounded, intentional, not just physically present. And it really takes time and effort and intentionality to cultivate. And it's such an important soft skill, we like to call it, for HR leaders, especially because HR leaders are constantly getting things just thrown at them from everywhere in an organization. That takes a lot of emotional energy. So it's important to be able to practice this skill outside of work so you can bring it to work. I know for myself, I learned it from my drum teacher, Drury Mondlak, about the importance of the energy that you bring into the room. I was a little bit tired this morning, didn't get much sleep last night, thinking about my trip tomorrow and things I have to do. It forced me to say to myself, look, you want to record this video, Mike, be present for the video, get yourself together. And so hopefully that's coming through in the video here. And that's what presence is: being in the moment, being grounded, being physically there, and being focused, and being emotionally intelligent. That's another one. As I often discuss, our world is just go, 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 go. And human resource leaders need this time, just as we all do, to do this. Now, living in New York City, we are a hustle culture. I mean, we are moving. If you want to be around some good, successful energy, come to New York City. It's one of the reasons I love working here. I love having my office here because I get stuff done, and that's great. And sometimes we're so busy, we don't even talk to each other. We're just moving to the next thing, and every restaurant has people closing deals at tables. And again, that's great. It's wonderful. There's a life and energy in the city that just can't be replicated anywhere else. At the same time, it was really funny watching all of us hustling New Yorkers just have to be stuck on a boat with each other for 2 hours. I mean, by choice, obviously, right? I say that like we were forced on, but we couldn't just get off. And I think when we have other events, you can show up late, kind of do whatever. But this was really cool because you had to be there with everyone, and we were forced to be present.
How could you not be enjoying this, huh?
Yeah, the view is nice.
And there's something so soothing and meditative about being on a boat. Also, I love being on a boat in New York City because you get to see the city. Those of us who live in New York actually never get to see the city. I feel like our tourist friends and family who come to the city, they want to visit and do all these things, and we might do things with them, but we never get to see the city. For so many years, I didn't know where the Statue of Liberty was. I had never seen her. I mean, this is in my, adult life. I never saw the Statue of Liberty up close until I was maybe 30 years old, and I've lived in New York my whole life. I mean, what does that say? That's actually really embarrassing that I am admitting that, but that just shows you how caught up I've gotten, and many of us in the city have gotten, in just doing stuff and the hustle culture and moving from point A to B and get it done, get it done. So it's important to have that time to yourself. When I think of sailboats, I think of my friend Brett, who has invited me to be on his sailboat. In fact, it was the first sailboat that I've ever been on. And if you've never been on a sailboat, it's an experience. I mean, it's one thing being on a boat where there's a motor or no motor and you have to row. But a sailboat, you've got the wind moving in different directions, and you have to have a team that's working this sail to move it and adjust and keep the boat moving in the direction you want to go. If I were in charge, that boat would have totally fallen over or crashed, because it's just so much that goes into it. But it's an important experience to have, because I think there's this metaphor that I think of when I'm on a sailboat about the wind and the wind changing. Sometimes the wind blows in different directions and at different levels of intensity and speed, and you have to go with it. If I'm going for a walk and it's really windy, okay, the wind's going to push me, but I still need to get where I'm going, and I have to make certain decisions. Maybe I need to stop for a little bit till the wind dies down a little. Maybe I have to just, try to force against it. Or maybe, I say, let me go with it and find an alternate route. But that's a reminder for the way we need to deal with life, because we're being blown in different directions with the winds of change. Ooh, that sounded deep. We're blown in different directions with the winds of change. Yeah, I said that. Burnout is a real thing right now. In fact, as I am recording this in May of 2025, 75% of employees are feeling burned out. And of that, we're assuming that those that aren't maybe might have not been telling the truth or not been aware. So pretty much everyone is struggling. So it's really, really important. So how do you become more present? You have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about it. It's not something that is going to happen to you. And I have learned the hard way, actually every single day. I still learn this lesson. I have not learned this lesson. It's what I continue to learn, I should say, that you have to force it in there sometimes. This morning when I woke up and I was on a little sleep, I got to make a video, I got to do a presentation today, all this stuff, got to pack my suitcase, got to go to the gym. One of the first things I did was I meditated, which I do every morning. I do transcendental meditation. In addition, I went for a walk. I got some coffee and went for a walk, because there's something about the sunlight, even when it's foggy out, which it was today in New York City, hitting the eyes. And I think it activates, oh gosh, I'm going to try to say this, melanospin or something like that. Look it up. If it does, I should not be commenting on that stuff. But basically, it resets your body clock when you walk out in the sun and the sun hits your eyes. So just doing a few minutes of that, I felt different. But it was hard because my to-do list today is so long, so many things to do, so many things coming my way. I got to respond to emails and calls coming in, text messages. But forcing myself to be present was a great way to start the day. So I really encourage you to keep that in mind, that you have to be intentional, and that means forcing it in. If you've never done it before, force it in for just 2 minutes. If 2 minutes is too much, do 1 minute. Set a timer on your clock. But warning, it will get very, very addicting when you start doing it. It gets really addicting to the point where I can't live without it. If I don't get my meditation in the morning, oh, that's not good. That's not good. So it's really become something that I can rely on as a tool. Does it take away all my stress and my mental health issues? Absolutely not. Sometimes people like to promote this idea that if you just do wellness stuff that's natural, it's going to heal everything. Again, do your research when it comes to this stuff, but I find that it doesn't heal or cure everything. It makes it more manageable. And sometimes it feels subtle. And what's interesting about that is, like, when we're struggling with something, whether it's stress or anxiety or depression, we want the profound. I want the profound. Fix this damn thing, right? But you know what? Sometimes it's those subtle things that you notice over time actually have more effect, more of a significant impact, I should say, than something that's profound. So that's why it's important to be intentional about being present. It takes practice. It's doable. Once you start doing it, you will become addicted. One of the other ways that I've practiced being present through the years is by taking time to just lie on the couch or my bed and just be still. Sometimes I'll get to a hotel and had a long day of travel. I'll just get some water, lie on the bed, not to sleep, just be still. I'll have my eyes open. I'll put my phone alarm on for a few minutes and just be still. And you'll be surprised that it's so hard just to be still, not do anything, not look at my phone, not scroll, not check messages. And it really, really helps ground me after a long trip. After I presented this morning, one of the things that I did is I have a ritual for when I finish presentations because I put out a lot of emotional energy and I want to be present for the rest of my day, not just the presentation. So I actually sage myself. I have sage in the apartment here, but when I travel, I use liquid sage because you can't be burning sage up in a hotel room or traveling with a lighter in your carry-on bag. So I do that. And in addition, I do a little meditation that grounds me, just a little 5-minute meditation, and I get some water. That's always my thing after presenting. Get some water, sage, and meditate. And that's how I become present. And it was amazing. In like 5 minutes, I was able to be back in the moment. Like, it's almost as if the presentation didn't happen. In the past, I would have done these presentations and be drained for a few hours, needing to sleep, get me a big sandwich or something, and sleep for a few hours. So these are some things that have started to even help me with my busy schedule. Our courses cover so many different soft skills that can help you with mental wellness and burnout, everything from meditation to resilience to self-care to dealing with anger, one of my favorite ones. These are important skills to have, and you might think of them as like, okay, that's nice to be reminded of how to manage my stress, but it's so important because if you get burned out, you can't work. In fact, to be truly burned out, it's a medical condition where you can't function. So it's really important to have tools that you can rely upon so you don't get burned out. My mission is to support people in discovering the gift of emotional wellness through unique learning experiences designed to empower your personal and professional growth. You see, all my life I've struggled with emotional dysregulations. I would be feeling one thing to the next, anger to sadness to both at the same time, and they would take over and cause all sorts of problems that led me to the mental hospital and lots of therapy that I'm still in and all that stuff. And it wasn't until I met John Terrell in 2017 during a mental health breakdown that I was having where I understood that there are tools that you can really use that really work fast to help yourself. And so it's important to have those tools. It's important to cultivate them. And more importantly, at work, it's important to share those with others who can use them because employees are really struggling right now. So this is one of the reasons why our courses have been doing so well in the Open Sesame Plus catalog, which I'll leave a link in the description so you can check them out. And some of them are really short, just 2-minute courses, 5-minute chair yoga. You could do yoga at your desk. These are just so important to have right now, so I encourage you to check them out. This sailboat ride reminded me of the importance of being present, and hopefully this video did the same for you. If you liked it, please click that like button and share it with anyone who might find it helpful. I'd love to hear your comments and questions below.